Hey, people online watching, welcome you guys as well, and God is good. We welcome you to the Choose to Change mentoring program. And this is who we are, guys. He said, welcome to the Choose to Change mentoring program, where you will always be inspired. And that's true, because every Thursday I look forward to this class, because I'm always I get inspired, by the teaching, because I learn something every Thursday here. Challenged and equipped for change, success, and fulfillment in life. My name is Rudy, and I'm a proud member of the Choose to Change mentoring program. So, who we are and why we're here. Choose to Change mentoring is a self-supporting group sponsored by the Choose to Change Foundation. Membership is completely free of charge, but we do encourage donations from our members or anyone else who believes in us and what we do. Our mission, we are on a mission to restore families by inspiring, challenging, and equipping men to become more effective fathers, husbands, and leaders in our community. We are often asked if this program is only for men, and the answer for that question is no. It's for ladies as well. Anybody that wants to learn, to be successful, and to be challenged. That's the most important thing in life, especially for men. Men need to be challenged, in order to be great leaders and great husbands, and you take it from there. But it's all a process, and Orlando teaches that, a process. So, greetings again, guys, and we're gonna pass the pulpit to our brother Orlando. Let's give him a hand, because he's always, have something new for us every Thursday. So let's give him a hand, guys, as he comes and gets the pulpit, all right?
Testing, are we good? That water's right there, Rudy. That one right there. All right, guys, good. Welcome, everyone. So those of you watching, thank you for joining us. Believing in the Impossible Facebook group, thank you for joining us. So today, I want to talk about, try to help you, Chavarría. ¿Quién es ese Chavarría? The process of personal growth. The process of personal growth. We're all in a process. I've always taught this for years. We're in a process. I didn't know this, but we're all in a process. Let me read you a couple of quotes as I get started. I heard a speaker say once, what human beings are capable of is amazing. What we as human beings are capable of is amazing. What we actually do is disappointing. Let me repeat that. What you can do in your life, the things that you can accomplish, the things that you can achieve are amazing. Think about that for a minute. What human beings are actually capable of doing is amazing. What we actually do is disappointing. Oh man, I said, wow, that's pretty powerful. I know that many people, all of us are going through challenges. We're facing great challenges in our society today. Especially last year with COVID and everything that's happening in our society. And we need to fight our way out. I called my sister today just to tell her that I was praying for her and thinking about her, because I know that she has her own challenges. And I know that you're watching me. No matter where you're at in this world, you have your own challenges. But how do you achieve? How do you get out? How do you dig yourself out? I teach this all the time. We're here and we want to get here, whatever that means for you. But how do we get there? I want to talk about personal growth today. Personal growth. Kind of like Let me give you another quote that I learned. It says like this: in order for you to achieve what you have not, in other words, you want something, but you don't have it. In order for you to achieve what you have not, you must become what you are not. Did you get that, Chavaria? In other words, you have to grow into your dreams and hopes and aspirations in life. You have to grow. You have to grow into your goals. You have a goal for your life, you got to grow into it. This is how it works, right? It's like making money. It's like making money. It doesn't just fall from the trees. You know, when we're young, we start learning that. You know, we actually have to work for it. You know, I wasn't sure whether I was going to share this or not, but I have it in my notes, so I'm going to share it. If you want to make more money, how many would like to make more money? We all would like to make more money. So, and I'm sure if you would like to make more money and you're watching us online, just give me a thumbs up. So the question is, how do you make more money? I'm telling you, it's personal growth. That's how you make more money. Now, when I first saw this, I said, it didn't make no sense to me. What do you mean personal growth? Go to church, have faith. How do you put all that together? It's called personal growth. Making money. So personal growth, let me give you an example of what I mean by personal growth and how it relates to making money. Let me change because and the reason I'm using money is because it's easy to understand. Right? Maybe you haven't understood it to this point in your life. What are you talking about? Personal growth, the process of change, going from here to going to there. Well, it's going from being broke. Maybe you'll understand this one. To having money. How's that? Does that help? Help you understand? Here's first thing you need to know about personal growth and money. You don't get paid for time. Has anybody ever asked you, how much do you make an hour? And you tell them, so much, right? But we don't get paid for time. We have to understand that. We get paid for the value you put into that time. Does that make sense? You don't get paid for time. You get paid for value you put into the time. So if that's true, here's a couple more things you need to know. So we're talking about value. And we're talking about time. Remember, I'm telling you all this because personal growth comes into play here in a minute. You with me? It takes time to bring value to the marketplace. It's another thing you have to marketplace. I've been wanting to explain this for a few months now, so I'm going to explain it today. It takes time to bring value to the marketplace. And by the way, the marketplace, we call it reality. All right, keep that in mind. We call it reality. We don't get paid for time, we get paid for value. So what's the minimum wage right now? Right now there's a debate, right, in Congress. They want to raise the minimum wage. Anybody know what the minimum wage is? Say $8, like round number. If you work at McDonald's, you can make $8. So you can get, for a high school diploma, you can get anywhere between minimum wage to $12 an hour. Más o menos, right? Depending on that's about $16,000 to $31,000 a year. Just because you have a high school diploma. I think you need a high school diploma, right, to get a job? Does anybody know that? Not necessarily? Well, just to get a job, 8 to 10. If you want to make more money, you have to become more valuable. So the question is, how do you become more valuable? So let me ask you a question. Is it possible? Is it possible, Chavarria, to make twice as much money in the same amount of time? Is it possible? How does somebody make $400 a week in a company, and in the same company, somebody else makes $800 a week for the same time? So it is possible, right? What's the difference? Value. See, because you get paid for the value you bring into that 1 hour. This is how it works. So if you don't get paid much money, then you're not worth much. Ooh. Now, you may be a good, valuable person, right? You may be a valued person in the community, right? You're a valuable person in church. You're loved by your family. You're loved by your pastor. You're loved by your wife and husband. You're loved. You're a valuable person. But to the marketplace, which we call what? You're not worth much money. Are you with me? This is how this is. We're talking about money, by the way. That might interest some of you. How to make more money. You must become more valuable. And in order to become more valuable, and that's where personal growth comes. You become more valuable. If you get and how do you do personal growth? This is what I teach in here. The reason that I make more money than I did 20 years ago is because I grew into my goals. I grew into my dreams. I grew into my hopes. Now, what I want to explain to you today, right now, is how I did that. How do you become more valuable to the marketplace? Let me ask you this. How do you become more valuable to your family? How do you become more valuable to your community? How do you become more valuable? Because there's more values than money, right? There's more values than money. The value of being a great husband, the value of being a great mother, that's huge. Very valuable. You can't even measure it with money. See, so you can become more valuable in your community. And when I found out that I could do that without making more money, I said, I want to do that. See, today I'm working on making more money. Because I've already become valuable to my community, to my family, to my friends, to my church. I've become valuable. But how do you become more valuable as a person in the marketplace and in your community? I'm telling you, it's a process of growth. You grow into it. And what I teach people is that if you're not happy where you're at, you have to want it. Something has to happen within you that say, you know what, I want that. I want that. I want that kind of marriage. I want to make that kind of money. I want to be that kind of person. You have to want something. In other words, you have to have hopes and dreams. Over here, hopes and dreams. You've got to want to change. In my case, I was a loser drug addict, believe it or not. And I wanted to change. I didn't want to be that person no more. I hated myself. I wanted to kill my worthless self. That's who I was. See, I know what I'm talking about. I didn't just drive up. It's a little saying I know. I wanted to change my life. I didn't know how. So I wanted something. That's where it starts. And then once you got that, once you got that in your mind that you want something better, I try to teach this to my kids, to my son. Then, you're going to need some faith. I'm giving you a process. It's pretty powerful stuff. Stay with me. I'm just going to go straight through this. I can go on and on with this stuff because it's registered in my mind, in my heart. If you're struggling right now in life with something in your life, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job, whether it be within yourself, I promise you're going to see it somewhere in this process. And once I understood this, I could see, okay, I don't feel like the way I feel. Let me finish the process. You're going to need some faith to believe for what? For your dreams. Let me give you another one. You need some peace. I don't know if I spelled that right. You need some peace of mind. A lot of people have really struggling with their mind. Bad situations, the past. Your past is pulling you. Well, you need to have something that will pull you forward instead of backwards. That's what dreams are for. See, this is the past. And some of you are being pulled by the past. And this is the future. I said, wow. So how do I get from here to here? Well, you need something to pull you. And if what's pulling you from the past is stronger than what's pulling you to the future, then you're going to go backwards. You need something to pull you. So you're going to need some faith. You're going to need God. I believe you need Jesus Christ. You need God in your life. You need to ask him to help because you're going to get twisted. In our society today, I like what Pastor was, I don't remember who it was, Pastor or Pastor Drew Albert, I don't remember who it was, talking about how today, something about the mind. I don't remember what he said, but the idea is that more people are turning to God, are realizing they need God. So you're going to need some faith. You're going to need faith in God, you're going to need faith in yourself, and you're going to need faith in the process that you're going to get where you want to get. So you're with me? So let's say you're already there. Let me tell you where the heart of it all is. Your philosophy. This is what you believe. What you believe. What you know. What you believe and what you know is huge. It's all in here. It's spiritual. What you believe and what you know. Keep that in mind. What you believe and what you know. What you believe and what you know. It's called a mindset. See, when you start wanting something, you start having faith, you start asking yourself, well, what am I going to change? Has anybody ever asked you, if you ever thought about, if someone were to ask you, hey, I want to change my life, where do I start? What do I do? Who do I turn to? What's the first step? Well, here you go. I'm going to give you five different areas. Seven. You can come up with a few yourself, but I'm giving you seven in this process. First, you got to want something. You're going to have faith to have it. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to start working on your twisted mind. Right? Only the twisted people know what I'm talking about. That means all of you. There's some things in our lives that we need to unravel in our minds. I'm telling you, that's why you need God. So, your mindset has to do with your philosophy, what you believe and what you know. And I highly recommend you want to know some things. You want to learn some things. You want to ask questions. The Bible puts it like this. Jesus said this, seek and what? And you will find. He said, knock, and what? The door will be open. And then he said, ask, and what? And you shall receive. That's how it works. In Proverbs, in the book of Proverbs, remember I'm talking about, you need to work on your mindset. If you read the book of Proverbs, just read the first three books. Just read the first three. You're going to learn that it's talking about wisdom. It's talking about seeking. It's talking about seek what's the wisdom. In fact, it talks about wisdom is everything. It's everything. More than looks, more than money, more than possessions, wisdom. So it's about seeking. So you need to work on this. So why is that so important? Because it's going to produce the rest of your process. Check this out. What's going to happen is you're going to develop these attitudes. Every single one of you right now, sitting where you're at, you have an attitude. And you know what that attitude is going to be based on? What you believe. So here you go. I taught this last week. Your philosophy, your mindset, is about what you believe and what you know. Check this out. Your attitude is about how you feel about what you believe and what you know. That's powerful stuff. Think about that for a minute. In other words, if you're twisted and you have this twisted attitude about life and your mother and your father and your sister and your past and your brother, well, what kind of attitude are you going to have? A bad one. So it's about how you feel. That's where your attitude comes about. Because of how you feel. Because of what you believe. My father never loved me. What did that come to produce? Huh? My mother, she died for me. She loved me. I know she did. You see how that attitude? It produces something because of what you believe. What you know. What you know can deliver you. Like the gospel, when you learn something new, you're delivered. It's how you open your mind. So it's an attitude. So your mind has to do with what you know and what you believe. Your attitude is produced by how you feel about what you know and what you believe. Powerful stuff, huh? So, and you know what that does? It causes some action, activity, action. And what happens is it produces habits. So this is why people have such a bad attitude. So they're habitually always angry. They're always upset. That's how they live. It's a habit. It's produced by your attitude. And what do? You take these actions, you make these mistakes, you have these tantrums, you make stupid decisions. Why? Because of your activity. And the more you do that, what happens? Creates habits. You keep on doing it. Man, I did it again. Why? Because of your attitude. So, let me stop right here. So if you don't like your attitude and you have bad habits, what would be a good place to start looking for answers? What's in my twisted mind? What do I believe about my past? I shared this the other day. What do I believe about my future? What do I believe about God? What do I believe about myself? How about this? What do you believe about the people around you? Powerful stuff, right? It's an attitude. Produces habits. So you know what your habits produce? A lifestyle. Lifestyle has to do with, see, this is what is how you live, where you live, what you drive, how you dress. It's what people see. It's your lifestyle. They know you. They know how you are. They know how you dress. They know what you drive. They know where you live. You have a lifestyle. You see how that works? And it's all produced. Is this making any sense to anybody? It's powerful stuff. I'm telling you, it's changed my life. And by the way, just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you can do this. I promise you. See, being a Christian, giving your life to Jesus, it's just the beginning. It's a biblical, I promise. It's just the beginning. It's just God is merciful to us. And he forgives us over and 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 over. But you're never going to get anywhere if you just depend on forgiveness. You're just not going to do it because other people aren't as forgiving. Like the marketplace. We have to learn to grow. Personal growth. This is what this is called. So your lifestyle Right? It all depends on this. What this ultimate does is take you to what? And everybody knows this one. Results is what? The name of the game. It's all that really matters. As I get older, this is making more and more sense to me. Because it doesn't matter how much I cry. It doesn't matter how much I hope. It doesn't matter how much I pray. It doesn't matter how much I dream. If I don't put this into action, see, because people just live in their dreams, but they don't do anything about it. You have to put action, activity into your dreams. Because you're going somewhere. Do you know that? Oh, yeah, you're going somewhere, I promise. You're going somewhere. The question is where? See, and results is what we call either destiny, which could be what? Success, or consequences. I wound up here. After 30-something years of living, I wound up in consequences, in jail, in prison, addicted, hating my worthless self, a loser. That's where I wound up. Because guess what, Juan? This stuff works the other way too. Because you, you start going this way. Down. It all depends on what you want. If you don't give a, right? What's going to happen? You see how this stuff is so important? It's huge. And all this is biblical. It's all in the Bible. Faith is the substance. What's a substance? Something, right? Something. Okay. It's the substance. Faith is the substance of things, what? Hope for. It's something, it's over there. This is how this stuff works. That's why when people say, that stuff don't work, oh, you better ask somebody. This stuff works.
But it works either way, right?
It works either way.
But if you have faith,
Well, the thing is, you don't need no faith to roll downhill.
but you do have faith in the wrong thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Faith in drugs. You're putting your faith in all
I guess you can look at it that way.
in relationships,
Yep.
in bad decisions.
Mm-hmm. I just thought you'd roll down. Does anybody have any questions here? Does anybody have any comments? Let me know. Anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Sherry says she picked up a notebook for the class every week. Excited and determined.
Woo! Keep up the good work, Sherry. You're going to make it. Start working on your mind. I promise you, that's the key. It's the heart of it all. Because we have to keep it in check. Yes, sir.
Is it ever too hard to start the process?
No, that's a good one. You start it again. That's what this is what this is so. Whether you're how old are you, Mija? 18. Whether you're 18. I started this process when I was 33. The climbing process when I was 33. I started the downward process when I was 15. That's when I started my downward process. And then I wound myself, I found out, and then I wound up in a hole. Y'all remember how, this illustration? You remember this illustration? Anybody? You remember this illustration? All right, those of you watching me, we'll close with this. We'll close with this. I hope everybody got this. This is how you change your life. This is what I teach in these rooms. This is the reason I'm sharing this today. Because I wanted you to understand everything I teach in these rooms. Every single time you walk into these rooms, every time you watch me on a video, on YouTube, on Facebook, I'm going to be talking about something that has to do with either one of these. There's a lot to learn. And the way I live my life today, I don't have time for anything else because I want to learn to be better. I want to work on my craft. I want to work on being a better person, a better husband, a better leader, a better speaker, a better preacher. Am I getting better? Yeah? Thank you. Thank you, babe. She nodded her head. She said yes. I want to get better. So then I constantly work at when I have a bad attitude, I start looking at, okay, where am I? I'm twisted. I know I'm twisted. And by the way, this doesn't happen automatic. You force it. You have to force yourself. Literally. You have to force yourself to believe. This is why we call the group that we're in on Facebook Believing in the Impossible. This is why I say and always quote, and my tagline, if you will, is believing in the impossible. This is what this is all about. Because when you start, you're going to have to believe in the impossible. You're going to have to. Because nobody starts at the top. Nobody. And that was really good news for me. I'm sure glad that was true. So, normal people start right here. They start their little old life, 18 years old, right? Start their little old life, start walking, and they're happy. But somewhere down the road, they get sad, depressed, especially in the life we live today. It's a crazy world. Normal people. But let me tell you what I mean by normal people. Okay? Because everybody's twisted. But let me tell you the normal people I'm talking about. If you've never used drugs and never been to prison, I call that normal. Okay? Can we agree on that? You've never done drugs and you've never been to prison. That's normal. That normal people, they have their own problems. Trust me. I promise. They do. Right, sis? My sister's never been to prison, and she's never done drugs. But I promise you, she had her own problems. But that's normal people. But us crazy folks, we don't start here. Here's what we do. We dig a hole. We dig a hole, and we wind up down here in the hole, literally in the hole. And then someone like me comes in and tells you, you can change your life. You can do it. You can go to the top. You got to dream and believe. In prison, I'm telling this to prisoners. But they're down here. And I'm talking about people are down here after they get out of prison. Because it's a struggle. It's a fight. Nobody wants to help you. And those that want to help you can't. And then those that want to help you, you take advantage of. That's how I started. And I had to climb my way out. So if you're watching me, I know there's people out there watching me right now, and you're in a hole, you're in a rut, you're twisted. Nobody believes in you. You don't have no family. People left you. It's a mess. I know what hopelessness feels like. You're here. This is why you feel this way. So you have to climb yourself out. It's tough. Listen, life is tough. You just gotta fight, right? That's why my first inspiration was Rocky. True story. Why? Because he was a fighter. And I needed some inspiration. I needed somebody to believe in something that it can be possible, that it was real, that my life could change. And I started believing that craziness. And I got out and I started walking. Now I started walking. 33 years old, 40 years old. Out of prison. And I started climbing. Third climb. Today I'm 58. 58 years old. I'm 58. I know I look 30, but I got about there. Just kidding. Just kidding. I know. And this is what I mean when I say I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top. Does anybody have anything to share? Anybody want to ask any questions? Did we bring a Chavarria donation bucket? ¿Ahora que tenemos gente? Would you like to share something, mija?
I like what you said about this is a program of action because there's a lot of people that may want it but not want to work for it.
No, it's a program, it's action. I like that, action.
And also what Diana said about desire can be faced in a bad way as well. In the bad times or the times that we were in our bad life or in our past that was like a bad past, we had faith in the wrong things. So that same faith that we use for bad, we could also use for good.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
Having faith in the process?
Having faith in the process? What about it? Well, she has faith in the process now, I'm assuming, right? You have faith in the process? Amen. Yeah, the good process. But it's important. It's so important. I learned all this by accident. I really did. I learned it all by accident. And let me tell you how I learned it. Because I was desperate. I was hungry. I wanted to change. I wanted to succeed. You have to understand my story. By the way, my story, those of you who don't know, I have it in a book called Dead Man Walking. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on my website. I don't make money on these books. Everything goes to the Choose to Change Foundation to do what I'm doing here, in prisons, and anywhere they'll listen to me. And I share my story. I wanted to change my life. But I remember thinking to myself, and we'll close with this story. And I remember thinking to myself, remember, I went to prison twice. 2 times. I went to prison when I was 17, and I got out, and I went back when I was 33. Drug addict, loser, just no good. And I remember thinking to myself, I want to change my life. But I didn't want to just change my life. I didn't want to just stay sober. I didn't want to just be normal because I knew that I could not be normal. I'm already hyper as it is. I'm always moving. My wife says I move too much. In bed, I'm like, bah. I move. I got something inside of me. Maybe some of you are like that. Then you're called for something greater. You're called for something greater. God put that in you. And I believe God put that in me. But I was using it for the wrong things. And I said to myself, I don't want to just succeed. I want to excel. I want to prosper. I remember the first time I used to think, man, I'm going to make $1 million. I wouldn't tell nobody. I don't want to make $1 million. What am I going to do with $1 million? But now I know what to do with it. So I want to make $1 million. So if you're listening to me, and let me tell you why I want to make $1 million. Not for the money. It's not for the money. And this is powerful, and I'll close with this. And I heard this from one of my favorite mentors, Jim Rohn. He says, no, it's not the money. I know you think it's the money. I used to think it was the money. No, it's not. But because it's what it will make of me to get there. What I have to become to get there. That's powerful. That's why I started with the quote. In order for you to achieve what you have not, you must become what you are not. In order for you to achieve what you have not. Greatness, $1 million. You must become what you are not. There's something that has to happen within you. It's going to take more than physical skill. It's going to take personal growth. And only you can do that. And once I got this inside of me, I said, that's all I need to know. Just tell me what to do. And I started doing it. And that's how I got here. And that's how I'm going to keep on growing. And that's how I'm going to keep on giving. And that's why you see me so excited all the time. You see me a little tired nowadays because I'm 58. But that's all I have, guys. Anybody else have anything else? A question? Yes, ma'am.
Without realizing that 3 years ago, I actually went through all the steps that you have there without knowing. So when you started teaching that, I was like, wait a minute, I went through all that. I had that desire because I was, desperate for my life to change. My husband wound up in prison, so I had
That loser.
I had a desire. I needed my life to change, so
You went to faith.
I went through all the steps without realizing that my life was changing, going through the process and growing spiritually, mentally, and actually going through all those steps. So when you started teaching that, I was like, wow, I went through all that without realizing. And I'm here at the future, 23 years later, and realizing that my life has changed so much. My mind, my attitude, my faith has grown, and it's just amazing to see that.
There you go. So it works. Yes, sir.
Would you say this is for anybody or only those who want to change?
No, well, this is only going to work for those who want to change. That's the first step. It's not for anybody. This is not for anybody. This is why, because there's a process. I taught the other day that there's stages of change. There's this thing called stages of change. And the stages start when you're young. When we're young, we can get twisted really, really easy, depending on how you grew up, right? I mean, because it's so easy to get twisted in the world we live in today. The fatherless generation we live in today. The ruthless internet day we live in today. It's so easy to get twisted. So then people are going to go through these stages. Rebellion, hatred. There's some people that don't want to change. And I tell people, listen, if you're sitting here today, I'll tell you guys, if you're sitting here today and there's something inside of you that says, I want to change my life. I want to be better. I want something different. If you have that inside of you, man, you better thank God. I'm telling you, you better thank God. You know why I'm telling you that? Because few people get there. Few people get there. They're still over here somewhere. They haven't gotten to that desire to want something better for their lives. They rather put up their hand and say, I'll see you later. I'm going to go figure it out. Of course, nobody ever figures that out. You can't do it on your own. Doesn't even make sense. But that's where people go. And they wind up in prison. They wind up in rehab. They wind up institutions or dead.
I think also
Because there is no other way out.
as you go through the steps, without realizing you're bringing people with you, like your children, your spouse, your friends, your family,
Mm-hmm.
and you're
Yeah, you affect.
carrying people through it, both
Yeah.
good and bad.
Because there's a lot more to this process. Because it creates like a wave, right? You know how waves, when you drop a rock in the water, it creates those. What do you call those? Ripples. So my life has created a ripple effect in my family. It's pretty powerful to watch.
When you tell people to say, I don't need that desire, I have everything I need, I have money, I have a job, I have everything I want, but they have just something that's just missing.
There's something I learned. There's something I learned in the program. In recovery, I learned it, and here's what they said. That the only way to recover and overcome and be happy, because basically, if they're happy, you know, most people happy and joyous and free that say they're really not, right? And why? Because they have not learned or cannot or will not become brutally honest with themselves. Because that's why I don't even worry about people that, I can't change nobody. God can't even change you. Not that he can't, he won't. He just won't. You have to want it. So, what do I tell those people? I don't. I like another quote I heard. I like speaking and helping and speaking about things that matter to people who care. I like speaking and teaching things that matter. This is what I try to teach my son. I'm trying to help you with things that matter, son. Everything else doesn't matter. And I try to teach it to people who care. Why would you want to teach it to people who don't care? It doesn't even make sense. And unless you're brutally honest with yourself, you're not going anywhere. Yes, sir.
Pastor Berkeley asked, why do you think people don't want to change?
It's a good question. I have no idea. The best answer I have for that is some people do and some people don't. And that's the best I could figure. Some people do and some people don't. That's what Jesus said. I don't know, but here's what I have to offer. Take it or leave it. Here's what I have to offer. Take it or leave it. So no, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it's easier to do wrong than what it is to do right.
Oh yeah, it's much easier.
So don't do it because they don't want to go through the steps. They'd rather stay here.
And you know what the sad part about it is? It's kind of like Pastor preached about preaching the gospel and us going out to share with others. And this is why I do what I do. Because I know there's more people out there. They just need to hear it. Because it is easier to do nothing. But the consequences are eternal.
I think it's because people don't want to let go of their beliefs or their belief system that they've had since they were traditions behind.
Yep. Oh, there's many reasons why people don't change. They don't believe, they don't care because of the past. In fact, they'll tell you why. They go over their whole list. But you know, I don't know. I don't know why. I can give you some ideas, but it's easier to do wrong. But man, the consequences are. And you don't realize that. That's why you have so many older men and women. Have you ever met older men? And what I mean by older, like 70 or 80. And they're full of regret. See, that's why I don't want to get there like that. See, once I got that, I said, man, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God, for helping me see that my wicked, twisted attitude was going to take me somewhere that I didn't want to go. And that's what most people don't realize, Yana. They don't realize where they're going. They have no idea. They think they're going to be 30 and 40 forever. And the people that are 20 and 30 think that. And then they start getting gray. The knees start hurting a little bit. You start getting, oh, you start, man, I thought, no, you're going down. I promise. You will bow. Right? You will bow. The only question is, to who? I decided to bow my knee to Jesus Christ. Take it or leave it. I'm just telling you what I did. And for those of you who want to be politically correct, that's just my opinion. I'm entitled to that still, right? Still, we still have that little bit of freedom, our opinion. That's all I have, guys. Thank you for watching. Oh, what do you say?
Because I can't wait to start being able to go into
Since I've run into a lot of people who made up their mind as just how it is, and they feel there's no hope for them.
They have to find that desire, right?
Yeah.
They're just gonna have to find that.
Well, you're there.
Mm-hmm. See, that's why, and I go back to why I do what I do, because I never know where I'm going to find people. So they're in crossroads in life. I have an answer for everything. You just might not like it. That's all I have. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week, every Thursday, 7 p.m.